Hi friends, Carrie from down in Texas on this cold Texas day. Yeah, it's cold today. It's down in the 40s. Well, it was early this morning, and now we're climbing back out of it, but that's pretty cold for us this early. I wasn't going to do another video today, and then, I've heard some things on the news today, which I've checked with two different sources, conservative sources, and I don't know, I just felt the need to talk about a couple of things that haven't really been talked a lot about, and they're really disturbing me, and I don't know why we're not hearing about this, and it really bothers me. Did you know that only 1% of the federal government's employees work a 5-day work week? Let that sink in for a minute. 1% of our federal government's employees actually show up and go to work for 5 days in a work week. That means 99% of our federal government is not working for the money they're paid. And yet, millions of Americans today, just over 2 weeks from Christmas, don't know how they're going to pay for Christmas. Don't know how they're going to pay for Christmas dinner. Are going to have to look at their children, their young children, and say, I'm so sorry, but I can't buy Christmas for you this year. And we have government officials in our administration that get paid millions of dollars, live in these amazing houses behind these gates, who get extravagant lifestyles. Sorry, I'm getting upset. Take their families on amazing holidays, world-class holidays. And the average American is drowning in debt, drowning in despair, drowning in their inability to live the kind of life that they had hoped that they could live, because we have such blatant gout in our government officials and departments, when 99% of them are not working for you and me. We have government officials that stay home and take bubble baths. We have an economy that is the worst since the Depression. We have young generations that can't buy homes because it's impossible, because of the price, because of interest rates, because of astronomical building costs, that are working hard, who've gone to school, who've got a college degree, who've done everything right in their life, and they can't buy a home. We have people like me and my husband. My husband's 65. I'm 62. I've had catastrophe in my health for 17 years. That has destroyed my husband and I financially, just to keep our head above water. My medical bills are over $3 million. And we stay afloat, barely. I work 16-hour days, 17-hour days. I'm an entrepreneur. He is a civil designer. He works as many hours as his company will allow him to work. And we are barely keeping our head above water. We suffered a massive setback from '08 and a family crisis early in our marriage, and we have never, with those three things, been able to get our finances where we're running ahead and not behind. We don't go on holiday. We don't spend extravagantly. We do everything DIY. And I will never be able to retire. And then I hear that 90% of my own government doesn't work. And I think to myself, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Because that's how I was raised, to work hard. Talk about feel betrayed by my own government. This is why I did everything I possibly could as an individual citizen to make sure Donald Trump got reelected. Because he is our, my husband's and my only hope now of possibly being able to retire when I'm 70, maybe. I feel betrayed, I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm incredibly disappointed. I feel like I've been treading water for 4 years. I feel like I am 10 years behind now where I should be. And I hear 90% of my government doesn't show up to go to work. And they get paid unbelievably. They have unbelievable benefits. They're obviously not worried about Christmas or buying a ham or a turkey at Christmas, because why should they be? The bloat and gout that is in our country is disgraceful. And I know there's a lot of people that are in the same boat that I'm in. Law-abiding citizens who mind their own business, who work hard, and all we want is a fair shake. All we want is the ability to see and do the things that we want in our life. And the only prayer we have now is a new administration that hopefully can turn this around. We've seen him do it before, and I pray every single night that he stays safe and his government stays safe and they take the strides to give the American people back hope. We need hope back. Think about all of those poor people after the hurricane who've been just forgotten about. Still living in God only knows what. Still living outside of a home that was destroyed by a hurricane that nobody's even talking about anymore. We have a former president, soon to be and again president, who the government, I believe, tried to kill because the left is so ravenously starving to keep their power above anything else, including the American people. They don't care. They care about keeping their position and their power. The Pelosi's, the Schumers, the Bidens, the Clintons, the Obamas, and all of their flunkies that follow them that are set for the rest of their life while the American public drowns. And then they call us names. If I thought there was a better place to go, I'd have gone. I could go back to Australia, but it's in no better shape. It would cost me more to live there than it does here. And it's socialized. I don't want to live in socialism. Our country's turned away from our faith too. This is the tribulation. This will determine whether or not you have forever, everlasting life. These days, right now, will determine that. And our faith is what keeps us going. But it is heartbreaking that 99% of our government doesn't care about what happens to you and I. They stay home in their mansions and they abuse the system, and we pay for it through the hard-earned dollars that we earn every day by working 12 to 16 hours a day. How dare you? How dare you betray the people that pay your salaries? How dare you? I don't wish ill will to anybody, but I sure hope when the new administration gets in that these people who have committed this are fired immediately. They don't deserve to have what they have because they don't work for it. And then we have violence everywhere. 12-year-olds raped and murdered. 20-year-olds who can't go for a run without being brutally attacked and then violently murdered for some illegal piece of crap that's here that we had in custody and let go, and now that beautiful life is forever extinguished and her family destroyed with grief. And there's no accountability. Our president, sitting president, and our sitting vice president don't give a shit. They don't. They've never done a damn thing to try to fix it. They've never called 13 families of those soldiers that died in the extraction from Afghanistan. They've never even bothered to pick up the phone to say, we're so sorry that your child was lost. What an insult. That's not what happens in this country. I don't even recognize my country now. I thank God every night since the election that Donald Trump's been re-elected, because it is the only prayer that we have. And you can disagree with me. I don't care if you do or not. 80% of the American people feel like I do. Maybe not in exact terms, but betrayed, forgotten, unimportant. What are we wasting our effort and our time for when we can't possibly have the things that we desire in our life because we just simply cannot get ahead? And the people that have put us here don't work. And the government officials suck the life out of our budget because we pay for their benefits for the rest of their life. That's got to change. No more freeloading. No more lifetime health insurance. No more lifetime retirement. You and I don't get it. Why should they? The table has to be re-leveled, and I pray every day Donald Trump does it. Why would any man put himself and his family through what he has been through for power? He doesn't do it for power. He does it because he's a true patriot, and he's trying to turn the ship around and give you and I the opportunity to foresee and fulfill our goals, our dreams, and our aspirations. The Democratic Party certainly is not about that. They're all about keeping their power and their position at any cost, including you and I. Violence erupted in New York because somebody was pushed to the point they could not go anymore. And an innocent person, we assume, was assassinated. And it's disgraceful. I made a video about it yesterday and I stand by what I said. I'm not surprised. I'm appalled, but I am not surprised. Because some of the most powerful elites in this country are the insurance industry, and they have failed their purpose miserably to put Americans and their lives back together in times of crisis and tragedy. They're not doing it. And somebody or some situation was pushed to the limit, and they took matters into their own hands for accountability. I understand that feeling because so many Americans do. The difference is we all know that it's not the right way to handle it. But boy, it sure does. It sure does ring as understanding it is completely wrong. And now there's innocent people that will have the rest of their lives changed. 2 children and a wife. How did we get to where we are? I don't know. I pray that we figure it out and change it. And I know I'm not the only one who feels this way. But we've got to have hope for a better day. I'm going to try to continue to spread that message that we do have hope now. And we have to do every single thing, each and every one of us, to ensure that Donald Trump and his government and administration are successful for all of us.
In 2 different ways. You
and
can bank
for our
that's great.
Country and our country's future. We, the people, have to hold them accountable. And if they're not getting it done, we, the people, have to fix it. Legally, the right way, and send them home. Many blessings to you on this Friday in December. God bless America.